There's no question Moscow and Washington stepping up their roles in Syria, and neither side liking what the other is doing. So could this turn into a proxy war between the United States and Russia? Let's get some answers. Barak Barfi joins us from Detroit. He's a research fellow with the New America Foundation. That's a nonpartisan think tank in the United States. Barak, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let me get straight to the point. Is Syria's civil war turning into a proxy war between Washington and Moscow? Both sides clearly supplying firepower to competing sides, Barak.
Well, it's not only a proxy war between the United States and Russia, it's a proxy war between America and its allies, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Qatar, and Syria's allies, Hezbollah, Iran, and Russia. And that's a big problem going forward, is how far this conflict can escalate. And nobody actually knows. It all depends on what the United States and President Obama is going to do to parry the recent moves of President Vladimir Putin. If the United States decides that it wants to continue to carve out a safe zone in northern Syria, if it decides that it wants to up the ante by providing arms and missiles to some of these rebel groups that are fighting the Russians, then we may have a serious escalation.
And some might say that escalation has already happened. The United States says Russian airstrikes have been reckless, irresponsible. Moscow says they're targeting terrorists. And some people, Barak, might say, what is wrong with what Moscow is doing? Clearly, the U.S. strategy has not worked in Syria. What is the strategy, in fact?
Well, when I wake up in the morning and I read the papers, I think that I'm reading Pravda propaganda from the 1970s and 80s. It's clear that Russia has entered the conflict to support President Assad, to defeat and destroy the moderate allies that the United States has in Syria, and then say that they're fighting the terrorist gangs. That is what Russia wants to do.
Well, why did it take them 4 years to do this? Why now?
The conflict has slowly degraded the capabilities of Assad's army. We know that many of the people who have killed, they have not been able to resupply their ranks. The planes that they use, they're not going up in the skies anymore because of maintenance. And slowly, the regime has lost territory, whereas now in the spine of the country, I believe it only has 25% of the country's territory. The Iranians said, we're not going to invest any more assets in the northern provinces in Idlib and Aleppo, and they instructed their proxy Hezbollah to do the same. So the Iranians went to the Russians to say, hey, this is a situation. If you don't get involved, there's a chance that Assad might fall.
Well, clearly there is so much at stake here. You have civilians dying, a country torn apart by a bloody civil war, refugees on the run. How do you see this playing out in the next few months, in the next year? What is the end game? Assad, at this point, is not going anywhere.
I don't think we can talk about it a few months. We don't know what will happen next week. Russia threw the United States in the international curveball. We didn't think that they would get involved by conducting airstrikes. It's now calling for volunteers, which is in the guise of Soviet military personnel, to fight in Syria. So the United States has a big question to ask. How much is it going to get involved in this conflict, and what are its interests? Are its interests to deny the Russians their haven in Syria, or is it to keep the ball and the focus on ISIS? And if the focus is on ISIS, it might have to take the fight stronger to ISIS and up the ante. And it's not clear that President Obama has the will and the strength to do that.